Alright, hey guys, today we're gonna be telling evil fucking AI creepypastas of my grandfather. He manifested them with his evil German mind, so he's gonna tell them to me and you, and all of us, and
Yes,
we're gonna have a good time.
my son. I've manifested
Six,
different creepypastas just for you, my son.
Wait,
six,
you say?
Yes, but
Well,
you
hear
can
that,
only
guys?
read.
We have to generate
6.
15 creepypastas. That's more than I can fit on my fingers.
Just edit it in post processing, so it's just like it says like I will approximately 10
Yeah.
But don't put this in.
Don't put this in. We're gonna like have this like I'm gonna edit this whole part. It's gonna sound really far away and echoey.
Don't look.
Alright guys, now onto the video. Alright, here we are. We're now in the bulk of the video. Who wants to go first? Because I think all of us here have our story.
I'll go
creepy
first.
tales.
I'll go first.
Alright,
you
are
go
you ready
first.
to
I'll
speak in
go
your
first.
creepypasta voice? Do you solemnly swear on your scout's honor?
I solemnly
On your
swear,
notes.
sir.
Put your 3 fingers up.
I have my 4 fingers up. I'm feeling special today.
Now put them in your asshole.
You're super serious.
You know what? I just might.
You
just might
what?
Are you ready for my story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. It started as a joke. A dumb urban legend my brother and I made up when we were kids to scare each other before bed. The meat man is coming, we'd whisper, giggling under the blankets.
Peeing into each other's
Got no
mouths.
bones. He ain't got no bones, just meat and skin. He crawls, he slithers, and when he's hungry, he searches.
For what?
Oh no.
We even made up the rules. Don't leave raw meat out overnight. Don't hear the knocks. And whatever you do, don't say his name 3 times in the dark. Of course, we didn't really believe it.
Meat
Well,
man.
last week, I was visiting my childhood home after years away. My parents had long since moved, leaving the house empty. It felt smaller than normal, colder, but familiar in all the worst ways. I spent the first night drinking and unpacking, laughing at the stupid legends we used to tell. And then
Drinking.
I found the note. It was stuffed in the back of my old closet, written in shaky, smeared handwriting I didn't recognize. I heard him. I heard the knocks. Don't open the door. Please, God, don't open the door. A joke? A prank I played on myself years ago and forgot? But that night, I heard it. Knock. 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 I heard him. I heard the knocks. Don't open the door. Please, God, don't open the door. A joke? A prank I played on myself years ago and forgot? But that night, I heard it. I froze. The sound was soft, deliberate, coming from the front door. Slow knocks. I don't know why, but my body locked up, my breath shallow. Don't hear the knocks. I tried to ignore it, but then came the smell. The heavy, rancid stench of raw meat left in the sun. It oozed into the room, thick and warm, coating my tongue. My stomach clenched and I gagged.
No.
I glanced at my kitchen counter. My grocery bags from earlier were still there. Inside, a pack of raw ground beef.
What?
Don't leave raw meat out. Don't leave raw meat out overnight was one of the rules. I forced myself to move, heart hammering as I stuffed the meat into the fridge. The second I shut the
Almost
door,
stopped at me.
the knocking stopped. Silence. I barely slept. The next morning, I convinced myself it was my imagination. Stress, nostalgia, anything but what it really was.
Let me cut you short real quick. How long is this?
It's almost over.
No, okay.
When you
What's
get
it called? What's it titled?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
hold on, before we continue, Adam, I must say, those sound effects, they really get me immersed. Thank you.
Yeah, I was pretty immersed.
They do. It's a great addition.
Take the feeling that something was watching me. That night, the smell. That night, the smell returned, and so did the knocks. I held my breath. Then, from under the door, something wet slid inside. A thick, red smear spread across the wood floor.
No.
I ran. I grabbed my keys and bolted for my car.
My car!
When I opened the door, he stared back at me. A fat, oily, greasy red monster.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
the meat man.
Ugh.
Alright.
That was pretty good.
What was that?
I'd say the AI did a pretty great job.
I think AI did a
Okay,
pretty good job.
Can I tell mine?
That
next?
was a
I would like
solid.
That was
to,
good.
I would like to go next if you guys would allow
Yeah,
me.
who should go next?
No, let Adam do it. He has.
Yeah, let me go next. This creepypasta is called Hey. He's watching.
God, he's watching.
Evil Albert.
I found a strange tape that my dead dad left for me in his big treasure trove. It was titled Fat Albert, the Lost Episode. It scared me. I put it in my big old VCR. It went in. That classic click I remember from my child. The screen flickered to life, and all my favorite characters were there. It was supposed to be a normal day for the Fat Albert gang. They had been hanging around the junkyard, skipping rocks, talking about nothing in particular, when Rudy spotted something down by the riverbank. Hey, yo, check it out, Rudy called, pointing through the trees. They all gathered, peeking through the old brush. It was an old wooden boat, half sunken at the edge of the river, tied up like someone who left it there in a hurry. The wood was rotted, paint peeling, but the weird thing was it didn't look like it belonged there. Like some kind of creepypasta lost episode. No one ever came down to this river anymore. Hey! Fat Albert grinned, always looking on the bright side of his big fat belly. Looks like we've got ourselves a little adventure. I don't know. I don't know, the man, Mushmouth muttered, already backing away. This doesn't feel right. I can't do Mushmouth. You kidding me? Who do you think I am? We ain't scared of no boat, he said, puffing his big, huge, nice, fat French titties out.
What?
Ain't nothing in there but a couple of old fish bones, some beer bottles.
Whoa.
Something there was
Fish
off.
on my phone.
Something there was off. The air around the boat felt yucky and heavy, like the whole river was holding its breath. None of them could explain it, but the closer they got, the quieter the world seemed to get. Without waiting for anyone else, Fat Albert stepped forward and grabbed a rope. It was slimy and black with bugs and mold. He gave it a tug, and then the boat drifted onto the water, like it had been waiting for someone. Come on, Albert said. His voice was steady. But the others could tell he felt it too. That pressure, in quotations. Reluctantly, they all climbed in. The boat barely creaked as it pushed off from the shore. The river carried them slowly into the fog. Nobody said a word for a long time. Even Rudy had shut his fat mouth up. The only sound was the slow lap of water against the hull. Flip, flip, flip. Then Dumb Donald broke the silence. Hey, Albert. Hey, Albert, what is that? They all turned. Sorry, I haven't read this. Etched into the wood near the front of the boat, half covered in grime, there were 3 letters. HB. 3 letters. I'm not done. Hey, that don't mean nothing, Albert said, trying to keep his smile. But his voice was a little too loud, a little
Albert,
too
no!
hoarse. The fog got thicker the farther they went, swallowing the shoreline behind them. That didn't happen. Stop it! Stop it!
What?
Thank you.
Is that part of the story, or
Couldn't even-
is that something
No, that's just someone else. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Dude, they couldn't even see where they had come from.
Where'd the
I don't
gorilla
like
come
this, man, Bill whispered. Me neither, said Weird Harold, clutching his cock. This bone ain't right.
What?
That's when the water started bubbling. Fat Albert leaned
shit.
over the edge, his big fat titties flapping over.
It's not-
Squinting into the dark, the river was murky. Too murky to see down more than a few inches. But something was moving under the boat.
Oh,
Surface.
shit.
Something
Oh.
big.
What was it?
Albert's breath caught in his throat.
God.
He was just about to pull back when he saw 2 square, glowing white eyes staring up at him from the depths.
The
He stumbled
square.
back, nearly tipping the boat because he's a fat little boy. I don't know. Wait, I skipped a line of dialogue. Get that out. What's there, Albert? Mushmouth stammered. I don't know, Albert said, wiping sweat from his vulva. But he did know. Everyone had heard the stories. Late night rumors passed between kids at the junkyard. A name whispered when nobody else was around. Hero Brine. He wasn't supposed to be real. Just some computer ghost from that Minecraft game Rudy wouldn't shut up about. But those eyes, they all saw them. Nobody said his name. The boat kept drifting. The fog got thicker. That's when the knocking started, a slow rhythmic tap, tap, tap against the underside of the boat. It came from every direction at once, circling them. Fat Albert clutched the oar tighter. Who's out there? No answer. The tapping got louder. Tap, tap, tap. It was moving faster now, slamming against the wood. Dumb Donald started crying beneath his mask. Then they all heard something. Then they heard something else. A low, distorted voice crackling through the fog. Hey. It sounded like Fat Albert, but wrong. Stretched out, broken. You shouldn't have come. Albert's blood went cold. We gotta get out of it. That's not Albert. We gotta get out of here. Bill whispered, clutching his rosary beads.
Why does he have a rosary necklace?
I don't know.
He seems like my kind of guy.
We can't, Albert said. His voice was hollow. The boat was moving on its own now. Nobody was rowing. The water was pitch black, stretching out in every direction. There was no more river bank, no more trees, and just endless fog and the soft sound of oars that nobody was holding.
Oars.
Then they saw him standing at the edge of the boat, tall, blocky, face blank, except for those 2 burning white eyes. Hero Brine. He didn't move. He didn't blink. Just stared. Hey. The voice crackled out of the fog again, but this time it was coming from him. Fat Albert tried to stand, but the boat rocked violently, nearly throwing him overboard. We gotta jump! Rudy shrieked, already halfway over the edge. No! Albert shouted, but it was too late. Rudy hit the water and never came back up. The bubbles stopped almost instantly. Hero Brine hadn't moved. The gang huddled together in the middle of the boat, praying, crying, whispering. The tapping starting again, it loud ever. Tap, tap, tap. Hero Brine was gone. But he was still watching. They felt it in their bones. The boat spun in slow circles, the fog swallowing them whole. By the time the sun rose the next morning, the boat was back at shore, empty. They never found Rudy. Fuck. They never found Rudy. Nobody ever spoke about what happened. Fat Albert stopped smiling after that. He didn't even say hey, hey, hey anymore. He never went near the river again. But sometimes, late at night, if you walk down to the same spot where the boat was tied up to, you can still hear it.
What the fuck?
Yo,
That was
I'm
good.
so confused.
Why was
And
Hero
what? They
finding
wa-
it? Why?
Because it was, I told him to generate a
What
story
a
where it's like the Fat Albert gang find Hero Brian and it's scary.
Yeah.
Oh, went with the boat.
and they find a boat too. And the boat just felt right.
Okay,
You
so
crazy, man.
I'm going next.
Like
I've
a
got
group.
3 creepypastas. I generate these like a crazy. And so I've got the Silver Man, I've got the Schlanker Man, and I've got Mark Simpson gets grounded.
Nah, make the
What?
Schlanker man. Make the Schlanker
Schlanker.
man.
Yeah, the
man.
rich Slunker man.
But there's
Gosh,
Schlanker
like,
Man.
come on.
They all-
Yeah.
There's Schlanker man.
The Slunker man.
Okay,
I like
There's
Schlanker, man.
Schlanker man.
it's like German Slender Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, like, come on.
Alright. Let me get in the character. Let me like.
Gosh,
Let me
Schlanker.
lubricate my gullet real quick for this.
Yeah, both of them warm up, you know what I mean? I'm glad you guys enjoyed mine.
Alright. Belch.
I enjoyed the voice acting.
Wait, hold
Let's
up.
go to
What
Hardy
is
Belt.
der Wand der Schneider? Whatever. What is this
Good
supposed
one,
The
to
wall of
Schneider.
shame.
Oh.
You're
The
gonna find
wall of
yourself
shame.
there if you don't stop talking in my recording, buddy.
Yes, mommy.
What?
Sorry.
Yes,
We
mommy
gotta
jokes.
censor that. We can't have that.
You're recording,
You're
bro?
gonna-
Yes, I've been recording. Here's the tale of Der Schlankemann. I grew up in a small village in the Black Forest of Germany. It was the kind of place where old stories weren't just folklore, they were warnings. I'm not doing that voice. I'm not
Nasty
doing that
self
voice.
murder.
That's gonna really suck to the whole time. I'm not gonna do that. I'll do
It's just gonna irritate anyone who's
yeah,
listening really bad.
I will do the Creeps McPasta voice. I'll do that. It's better. One story
Creeps
always
McPasta.
stuck with me. My grandmother would whisper to me at night when the wind howled through the trees. She called it Der Schlanke Mann, the Slender Man. Not the internet one, not the one people joked about, the real one. They say he's always been here, long before the village, long before the trees grew thick. He is old, older than the land itself, and he watches. You know he's near when the air grows heavy, when the trees seem taller, stretching like skeletal fingers toward the sky. He does not move like a man, he glides. His arms are too long, his fingers sharp like broken twigs. His face? Nobody knows. Some say it changes. Some say there is no face at all. Just a pale void that pulls you in if you took too long. If you see him,
Void.
Oh.
it's already too late. When I was 10,
Good thing that's fake, right?
my friend Lucas disappeared. It was a summer of
Oh, shit.
1998. We were playing near the
What the
woods,
fuck?
daring each other. Stop! Stop!
Oh,
It was the summer of 1998. We were playing near the woods, daring each other to go deeper, laughing as we ran between the dark trunks. The air was
gorillas
thick.
running past us.
Go on, finish the story.
The air was thick with a smell of damp earth. The wind barely moved. Then Lucas stopped. His face went pale, his lips trembling. "Do you see him?" he whispered. I turned. At first, I saw nothing. Just trees, shadows, the underbrush shifting in dim afternoon light. Then the shadows moved. He was there, tall, unnaturally thin. His arms dangled like marionette strings. His head tilted as if he was considering us. We ran. I didn't stop until it was hung, until my lungs burned and my legs ached. I slammed the door behind me, hard hammering. My mother scolded me, but I barely heard her. I just stood there shaking. Lucas never made it home.
Oh,
They
fuck.
searched for
No.
ages. The police found his bike at the forest edge, the front wheel still spinning. After weeks.
Stranger Things, you're fucking.
I don't think it
flagrant.
continues spinning that long, man.
His parents never recovered. Neither did I. Because I
Fuck.
still see him. At night.
Oh,
Through my
shit.
window. Standing at the edge of the
Oh,
trees.
fuck.
Closer.
No.
Each time.
Oh.
I hear whispers in the wind. Words I don't understand. The trees lean toward
Nathaniel.
my house. Their branches scraping against the glass like clawed hands. I know what he wants. Der schlanke man is waiting. And soon he will take me too.
Oh, God.
That was the story. I think it's pretty cool. That was like
Yo,
honestly.
That's fucking out.
there's
That
Schlanker
was
man gonna
low-key
get you,
lame as
bro.
fuck.
Dude, I've got one big like goose wart on my nose right now. It's really scary. I don't know if it's just because it's cold.
I'm not
in here.
gonna lie.
The story was real scary, but you did a good job.
Thank you, man.
Weird me.
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of
Thanks,
lacked a
man.
little bit of the funny.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very funny.
I think it's
Yeah,
really,
it's a funny
it
story.
was really scary.
It was
It
more
was
just
really
sad.
sad. It was really sad. They killed this little boy and turned him into a proxy.
Yeah. Into
But I
Dark
can't
Knight,
wait. I
lad.
cannot wait to like edit the picture for this story if it's into the final cut because I'm gonna like get like you guys know like the German soy jack video that's like always keeps popping up on your Fury page. It's like
Oh, it's like.
No.
yes, that one. I'm gonna like edit Slenderman into there, like a soy jack of Slenderman. That's gonna be really cool.
That's pretty good.
Wait, I'll try to find a picture for the Meat Man story.
We'll find stuff or like make stuff, but yeah. I think it's time we get on to the next story. Who's reading next?
Who's reading next?
Good.
Are you
Oh,
gonna read
Who's
next, Lava?
reading the Schlanken story?
Yeah, I have the evil Tristan story.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing. Make sure to tag Tristan in the comments below, guys. Hey guys, 2 editor's notes. First of all, the next part was not made by me. This is made by the person narrating, Lava, so it will look very different and probably a lot better. And additionally, apologies for the quiet microphone. I didn't have my settings set up properly, so just bear with me for this video.
There are things in Goontown that people don't talk about. Things that scratch at the edges of your vision. Things that whisper through keyholes when you're alone. But the worst of them all is Tristan. He doesn't work. He doesn't socialize. He doesn't even exist in the way normal people do. Instead, he hides in his diabolical evil lair, locked away for hours, days, sometimes weeks. And when he's in there, he draws. Nobody knows why he does it. Nobody knows what fuels him. But everybody knows what he draws. The unspeakable sketches. Tristan's lair, buried deep within the rotting heart of Goontown, is a nightmare of paper and ink, sketchbooks piled high, canvases stained with colors that shouldn't exist, and on every page,
Whoa.
himself, but not just himself,
I'm sorry, you said colors that shouldn't exist.
doing things, unspeakable things, little creatures, once innocent and pure, caught in heinous, abhorrent seams, twisted, mangled, skinned, their eyes frozen in an expression of eternal knowing agony. They look aware.
God.
Oh, wow.
Some say if you flip through the pages fast enough, you'll see them moving. Their tiny, pitiful mouths trying to scream, their limbs twitching against the paper prison he has drawn them into. And when he gets bored of drawing, that's when he goes out, jorking the thing-a-loo. Goontown isn't safe
not
when
say
Tristan
that.
leaves his lair. It did. I'm not fucking joking.
No,
You're
wait, was it
thinking
the
of
whole
thing-
story?
No, it's still going.
Yes.
Oh my god. He emerges from the shadows, clutching a diabolical evil blue object. like it's breathing something nobody can describe, because the second you see it, your mind just won't let you. And that's when he starts jorking the thingaloo. No one knows exactly what that means. No one wants to know. But the next day, something is always different. A dog that used to bark at passerby now sits completely still, unblinking, as if it can only dwell on what traumatizing things he did to it. A little girl, full of laughter, never speaks again.
Oh shit.
A teenager, missing for weeks, is found wandering the streets, eyes hollow, whispering a phrase over and over. Hey, SCP, how you been? Do you want me to hold it sideways? And the worst part, they all smile when they say it. Chapter 2. The video game.
Oh,
This is fucking chapter.
Wait, hold on, how many?
When he's not drawing, when he's not out there, doing whatever he does with the thingaloo, Tristan has his games. They say he plays for hours, unmoving, grease-covered, face bathed in the dim glow of his screen. Sons of the Forest, Minecraft, Farm D. But when people look at his game worlds, something is wrong. His Minecraft worlds are endless graveyards filled with tiny animal enclosures, but nothing ever moves. The mobs just stand there, frozen, their blocky eyes empty, like they know what he did. In Sons of the Forest, he doesn't fight the mutants. He draws them, and then they disappear. And in Farm D, no one knows what he does in Farm D. But if you walk past his house at night, you might hear something scratching in the dirt beneath the floorboards. Something trying to get out. The last recording. One day,
it's a gorilla.
group of kids tried to break into Tristan's lair. They wanted to see his sketches to prove that the rumors weren't true. Only one of them came back. A boy named Joey. He wouldn't speak for weeks. Wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep. But eventually, when he finally did talk, he only said one thing. Hey, SCP, where you been? Do you want me to hold it sideways? And he never stopped talking. He kept saying it over and over. Chapter 3.
No way.
The legend lives on.
Oh, three
No one
chapters. not
knows
bad.
where Tristan came from. No one knows what the blue object really does. But everybody in Goontown knows one thing for sure. If you hear a voice behind you whisper, "Hey, SCP, how you been?
God.
You want me to hold it sideways?" Don't turn around. Because if you do, you might just become his next drawing.
Hi, SCP. How you been?
Was that it for chapter 3?
Is that it?
That's the whole thing.
Dude, that was insane.
That's really good.
Wow.
That was really good.
That was good.
That was not AI.
You fucking wrote that message.
That was not
You did
AI.
that.
Good
That
to
was,
you.
That might...
I
Oh my
Dude,
god.
yeah.
I think we need to
Hey,
stop
SCP,
making fun of
how you
Tristan,
been?
How
guys.
you been? You want me to hold it
I
sideways?
gotta understand this.
Who want me to
I don't
hold
want him to
sideways?
draw us. Doing
Joey, I'm gonna
boring
send you
things.
the
Draw you
like,
pregnant
KSDP
with
video.
him.
I need you to
Scott,
play it every single time
He's
that I say
got a
that.
fucking evil ass note, bro. I'm gonna have to censor that.
Honestly.
What is that? What? Excuse me?
He's got a note.
What did that say?
What?
F note, but it people.
This
No.
whole part is gonna just be censorship after censorship. Let's cut this clip.
The
Yeah.
Evil Jesus, a dark gospel. It was once said that Jesus was a figure of mercy, a symbol of hope, and the savior of mankind. But what if the stories were told were all wrong? What if the true Jesus was not a man of love, but of a darkness, an entity who twisted the fate of billions into something horrific.
He was Jewish?
Your voice is perfect for this.
It
No.
started innocently enough. Word spread through small villages, then large cities, about the strange man with the power of heal. People claimed he could heal the sick, rise the dead, and bring comfort to those in despair. But there was something off about him. A coldness in his eyes, a darkness in his smile. No one paid it much mind at first. Who would question a miracle? But soon the miracles took a darker hue. He healed the sick, yes, but at what cost? Those who had been healed often
Those
found
who
themselves weaker than before, trying to fly life as Duff.
Duff? Duff beer.
I think there is actually a grammar mistake. Their very essence had been siphoned away.
Oh my god.
The crippled could walk, but with a limb that never went away, as though their bones had been twisted wrong. The blind could see, but what they saw was worse than darkness. Visions of blood, destruction, and strange creatures lurking just beyond their sight. The really terrifying part was, however, was the resurrections. People spoke of loved ones brought back from the dead, but no one seemed to be the same afterward. The resurrected were different. Their eyes were vacant, hollow. Their voices sounded distant, like echoes from another world. Some even spoke in tongues, muttering strange prayers that no one could understand. And then there was the ones who never came back at all. It began with whispers. The dead were not all rising. Some were not resurrected by the figure who called them himself Jesus. Instead, they were taken, buried in shallow graves. They would be found days later. Their bodies horribly twisted and contoured. Their mouths agape in screams of terror. Some were even missing. No trace left behind as stuff they had been consumed by something otherworldly. The cities began to fall into despair. People, once full of hope, grew fearful of so-called savior who had once promised them eternal life, but now every act of healing seemed like a curse. Every revival came at the expense of another soul, and Jesus, he always was there watching, smiling. That cold, hollow smile as darkness spread across the earth. There were rumors of those who tried to fight back. Some attempted to confront Jesus to end the madness,
Rebellion
but
against
those
Jesus is crazy.
yeah, it is. But those who did were found dead, their bodies mutilated beyond recognition. No weapon could harm him. No prayer could banish him. The world has become his domain. The darkness spread like wildfire. Crops failed, storms ravaged, and the seas crumbled to dust. The sun itself seemed to lose its warmth, as if it too was afraid of the figure who walked up amongst men. The earth trembled under the weight of this presence of his, and yet there was no escape, no place untouched by his reach. They called it the Great Purge. Of the ones who remembered what had come before the darkness were few. Those who clung to their faith prayed, but their prayers were unanswered. Jesus no longer cared for the humble of the meek. He no longer cared for redemption. His eyes now filled with an unholy hunger and unholy sight. The dark times had come, and no one would ever know peace again. because in the end there was no resurrection, nor no salvation, no second chance. There was only the cold, empty smile of the evil Jesus and the endless night that followed. It was too late to undo what had been done. And as the last of the light faded from the sky, there was only one thing left to say. Jesus had come and the world has fallen. That was my story.
That was really
Yeah.
good, I'm not gonna lie, that one
That-
sucked.
That was ass.
Definitely Jewish.
It was kind of
Definitely
cool how
Jewish, okay.
he would do the miracle thing, but he would like make the blind people see dead babies. I guess that's cool.
Something like that, yeah.
Your voice is perfect for narrating it. It was really good.
Is it?
Your voice,
Yeah, it's
if
beautiful.
you had better flow, like Dracula flow per se.
Oh,
You're more like
I can trade.
Jesus,
Blow
came
in the
down
Lord's
from the
bubble.
heavens, and he gave everybody cancer.
Alright, well, we have one more story before this spooky video ends.
Okie
This
boogie.
is about Bart Simpson is still grounded. That's what it's called.
Oh,
It's still grounded? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
get ready, guys. It started with a simple episode, one I'd never seen before. I'm a huge The Simpsons fan. I've watched every episode, even the weird forgotten ones. But this one, I couldn't find it on any streaming service. It wasn't even listed in any episode guide. It just appeared. The title card read, Bart Gets Grounded. The animation looked normal at first. Okay, I'm cutting it right here. If I see ChatGPT pull off but then all of a sudden, the animation was hyper-realistic, and there was gold.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'll be perfect.
Really,
That'll be perfect.
I will cry.
I
I
hope it
will
does.
cry.
you'll laugh and
All
cry,
right.
Family Guy.
Stick around for the Family Guy blind dub. Coming never.
My name's Peter, and stick around
Shut
for the
up!
mind
Let me
My name's
read.
Brian. Hi.
Alright. The animation looked normal at first. Classic 90s style. Bright colors, goofy expressions. The episode started with Bart pulling another prank. He filled the school's air vents with stink bombs.
Smell my
Principal
fingers.
Skinner, red-faced and furious, called Marge and Homer. Cut to the Simpsons' living room. Marge looked disappointed, but Homer was unusually quiet. His eyes were off, dark, shadowed. You're grounded, boy, he said.
Boy.
But his usual voice wasn't like Homer. There was no frustration, no anger, just coldness. Bart groaned, whining about how unfair it was. But something in the way Homer stared at him shut him up fast. The
Give me a
animation
big ol'
lingered
boner.
uncomfortably long on Bart's face. His
And
pupils
suddenly
shrank.
the art style got hyper realistic.
I
He
was gonna
actually
say it's
looked
gonna do that.
scared. Then the screen cut to black. When the episode resumed, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Bart was in his room, the door locked from the outside. The clock on the wall spun wildly, days passing in seconds. The colors looked duller now. There was no music, no jokes, just Bart sitting on his bed, staring at the floor, and hacking a bit of a tua. A full
Does not say that.
passed. Then two. The silence stretched, filled only by the occasional creak of the house settling. Bart's hair was messier now, his skin pale. He whispered over and over, I've learned my lesson.
I'm the baby.
I've learned my lesson. That's not what Bart sounds like, but it's fine.
I've learned my lesson, Dad.
Love you.
You're grounded, boy.
Oh, Dad, please, Dad, please don't tell me that.
Why is she cheap now?
I learned my lesson,
Jimmy,
Paul.
Jimmy, I'm not going to space. Bill, rocket ship, Jimmy.
It's okay, Carl. We'll go to space. We're grown up.
Alright, let's get back to the story. But nobody came. The next scene showed Marge, Lisa, and Maggie at the dinner table. Homer sat at the head, eating. No one mentioned Bart. Lisa glanced at the hallway.
Shall we let him out now?
She asked, voice
This is
small.
Lisa.
Homer didn't look up. No. Marge's eyes
No.
darted to the camera, as if she was afraid to say anything. Lisa swallowed hard and nodded. The screen cut to static. This, like, they must have used Dead Bart as a reference for this. Like, I gotta say.
Yeah, no, that
it's
part
like,
is absolutely.
they really, like, did
Marge
a good
looks
job
at
with the
the
shitty
camera.
creepypasta that nobody wants to read but got popular because kids get scared by anything type, like, feel.
Yeah, no.
What?
When it came
Hey,
back,
boy.
the animation was different.
Oh
my
It's hyper-realistic.
no.
The outlines were shaky, sketch-like. The colors
Oh, okay.
blended to
Oh.
each other, too dark and dull. The camera panned through the house. The lights flickered. The family moved like puppets, stiff and unnatural.
Like Family Guy
The
almost.
shot stopped at Bart's door. The wood was scratched, clawed at from the inside. The faint sound of breathing echoed through the speakers. Ragged. Slow. Then, a whisper. Please!
Bart?
It didn't sound like Bart. Something banged against the door. Once. Twice. The wood splintered. The camera cut to the family in the living room. They didn't react. Didn't move. Didn't blink. A final sickening crack. Then silence. The screen stayed on the broken door, the darkness beyond it pulsing like a living thing. Then, the episode ended. No credits, no music. Just a single white text on a black screen. Bart is still grounded.
That's
Grounded.
That's it.
you know what?
That was kinda
That
fire.
is pretty good. That was kind of scary. Like the end of the episode where he's banging his head on the door, like the fucking mom in
Breaking
Hereditary.
out of the
That's
door
pretty
to
scary.
kill everybody. He's like, I'm Bart and I'm taking my revenge, postal style.
I'm smarting.
I'm son Bartku and I am the legendary Super Simpson.
He says, "I'm going yellow."
I'm going
legendary.
yellow. I'm going yellow.
Going yellow mode.
I'm going yellow mode.
Hiya, CP.
Or I'm going yellow mode.
So that was literally like 6 scary creepypastas to make you shit your pants uncontrollably after dark. Told you by my
Like the
German
video up, guys.
grandfather, my German Reichstag loving grandfather.
6 scary stories to
I
make you
remember
shove a
the
live
video
piranha
about it.
in your ass.
I told you not to do that.
This is insane.
Shut up, Grandpa. Thanks for watching the video, guys. This
Panic
is my first
ramps.
time.
Why, CP?
This is my
Thanks for
first-
rubbing my belly, guys.
Shut up!
Hmm.
This is my
My
first
belly's
time
getting
doing any
bigger.
sort of real long-form content, so I
Please don't be
guess
mean.
I guess like and subscribe if you like the
Yeah, who let the
video.
gorilla in here? Get that gorilla out of here.
get the
Don't be
fucking
mean.
gorilla out of here!
Sorry.
Yeah.
God.
You bought the gorilla.
End video.